Hi, get Erev Shabbos, everybody. Welcome to Jerry's Parsha Ponderings for Parshat Yitro. And if we are already discussing Parshat Yitro, we would be remiss in not spending a moment, giving thanks to Yitro Tull. Okay, we got some Yitro Tull in there, so that's very important. I was just thinking about it. Put the Aquilon cover on my PowerPoint, and I wanted to wish everybody a l'chaim. We are going to try to be doing this as a Parsha and happy hour before Shabbat here in the Holy Land. So l'chaim, everybody. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakol niyeh b'dvaro. L'chaim, l'chaim. Okay, let's get with it. Jerry's Parsha Ponderings for Parshat Yitro, and let's start by talking about who was Jethro. We'll talk about Jethro Gibbs in a second, but who was Yitro? Yitro was Moshe's shver, Moshe Rabbeinu's father-in-law, and it begs the question, why was the Parsha that deals with the most momentous event in all of human history named after Yitro? I mean, they could have called this Parsha Maimed Har Sinai. A lot of things they could have called it. Aseret Adibro, Matan Torah. I have plenty to talk. Why Yitro? So we have to take a second and look at who Yitro was. Yitro said, Vayichad Yitro, Al Kol HaTova, Asher Asa Elohim LiYisrael, Vayomer Yitro Baruch Hashem. Why? Atayadati ki gadol Hashem mikol ha Elohim ki badavar asher zadu aleihem. What does this mean? Vayichad. The word chad means what? Sharp. He held cup. He listened to what was going on here. He saw something. What did he see? He saw ki badavar asher zadu aleihem. He saw that which the Egyptians tried to do to Am Yisrael was done right back to them. And Yitro said, Baruch Hashem. Vayichad could also mean he rejoiced. But he said, Baruch Hashem, he gave gratitude. He showed the attitude of gratitude. Now, think about who Yitro was. He was a pagan priest. According to most opinions, he converted, he became Jewish, but he showed the ultimate Jewish and human, if you will, trait of gratitude. It is so important to give thanks to Hashem and to all people that do something good for us. And I know I've spoken about this in the past, but I have to just jump back to it. It really bothers me, and lots of other people that I work with, Jewish and not Jewish, that there are many of my co-religionists that do the exact opposite when it comes to the most pro-Israel and pro-Jewish president in all of human history, in all of American history anyway. It's the opposite of who we are supposed to be. The fact that you have Schiffs and Nadlers, and I'm not even going to start with Bernie and Mike yet. We got a while on that one. How could they try to take down? Is he perfect? He's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. People make mistakes. People do things. But for what they do good for us, we have to show gratitude. And Yitro recognized this. Why? Ki badavar asher zadu aleihem. Every blood libel, every lie, every piece of hashtag fake news that the Egyptians put out toward the Jews, they got it back. Whether it was a blood libel, whether it was drowning the babies in the ocean, they were drowned in the ocean. They drowned the babies in the river, they were drowned in the ocean. Every one of the makot the blood libels, the dam, the frogs, which was the noise and the yelling and the screaming and the itching from not being able to bathe, and we can go through all the makot, were all mida keneged mida, measure for measure. Exactly what happened, they got back. And this is what Yitro recognized. And I would be remiss if we're doing a shir, a talk on Yitro without mentioning Leroy Jethro Gibbs, if you are an NCIS fan, as I am. Gibbs rule number 39, there is no such thing as coincidence. Nothing happens in a vacuum. We don't believe in Mother Nature and a coincidence and it just happened. That is not the God way of thinking. And I know people say, you don't know what God's thinking, and how can you say that, and you don't know, and you're right, we can't get into God's head, but we do have to listen to our messages. And we don't believe in mikra. Mikra is rak me Hashem. There is no such thing as mikra. There's no such thing as coincidence. We have to see the Yad Hashem in things. And just Yitro. This is why they named the Parsha Yitro. Because he saw the Yad Hashem. He saw Hashem. He saw Hashem's hand in history. He saw with his own eyes, and he recognized that this is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's the attitude that we have to have. Now let's talk about Maimed Har Sinai. Maimed Har Sinai, the ultimate sound and light show, the most momentous event in all of human history, the source of all monotheism. Realize that all the three major world religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all recognize this event as being historically accurate, that Hashem revealed himself to the Jewish people en masse. And do the math, there had to have been between 2 and 3 million people there. Figure it out. There were 600,000 men between the age of 20 and 60 that left Egypt, where 49 days later, 50 days later, right? So figure how many women were there, how many elderly were there over the age of 60, how many were there below the age of 20. It's got to be biktana, 2 million people, at least, maybe closer to 3. And Hashem revealed himself to everybody. He said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. But what caused this? What was the Jews? The Torah tells us, Vayichan Sham Yisrael neged har. They encamped as one at the foot of the mountain. What does it mean? Vayichan is in singular. So they had to be united as one person. Ki ish echad, Rashi tells us, b'leiv echad. They were as one person with one heart. They were together. There was mutual respect. There was love and brotherhood and sisterhood and togetherness and love for one another. And it was through this attitude that they were a kli, a vessel worthy of receiving the Torah, of receiving God's revelation and word. We have to keep this in mind. Now, I know, I'm thinking of John Lennon for a second. Lahavdil, right? Imagine, everyone, all the people living life in peace. It would be great. The socialist dream, Bernie, is not what we're talking about here. It ain't gonna happen. They've tried it. It doesn't work. Even the kibbutzim here in Israel, meh. They were good, like, after the Holocaust, when people came here and they didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So everybody got together and worked together. And then they started making a few dollars by exporting their goods from the kibbutzim. And they said, I think I want a Lexus. So that didn't last all that long. It goes against human nature. That's not how we're created. We're created to try to be upwardly mobile and to improve ourselves, both materially as well. Nothing wrong with that. The Torah tells us, aser to aser, you have to give a tenth to charity. Not that it should be legislated, and not that, the Torah doesn't believe in redistribution of wealth unless it's done voluntarily. So, you know, if a person wants to give to someone less fortunate, that's a big mitzvah. Should definitely do that. But that said, there still was this idea of togetherness, this idea of mutual respect and mutual love. And it's through that achdut, that unification, that brotherhood and sisterhood, that we were able to be a proper receptacle for the Torah. We have to keep that in mind, and it's important that we constantly aim to achieve that lofty goal. All right, here's where I'm going to get in trouble, but I have to say it. The first of the commandments, I am the Lord your God, Lo yelecha Elohim acherim al panai. You shall not have any other gods before me. Small g. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I have to. Coronavirus, people. China. Not because they were tariffing American goods and President Trump gave them a good zets. This is the land of paganism and atheism. What do you want me to tell you? I mean, communism denies a creator. What do they call religion? The opium of the masses? And if you're not an atheist, you're a pagan. Buddhism and all this other chazarai, it's all idol worship. Yeah, there are Christians in China, I know. But look at what's going on. Aver Menachai. Aver Menachai, it's one of the Sheva mitzvahs b'nai Noach. You're not allowed to eat the limb of a live animal. They eat live animals. You can see videos. Look, they're eating bats. They're eating the. I saw a video of some guy eating baby mice that were bald because they hadn't even grown hair yet. They were still crawling around on his plate. He's taking them with chopsticks, dipping them in soy sauce. I mean, come on. No kidding, there's a plague coming out of there. And there's like over 1 billion people. They manufacture everything for the whole world. This is a problem. I mean, it's a huge problem. There are companies that do all their manufacturing in China. They're not going to be able to export anything because they're shutting everything down. Rabbi Sai, Lo yelecha Elohim acherim al panai. What did you think was going to happen? You know, it's just a huge, huge pandemic. And I mean, I don't know where this thing's going to go, but we got to listen to our messages. Let's get our acts together. I mean, yeah, you know, they say God has time. He's got nothing but time. He's got all the time in the world because he is the world. He's the force with the capital F. You know, eventually, Vayavo Amalek, as we saw in last week's Parsha. If you don't get the message, you get a patch. So, yeah, I mean, Lo yelecha Elohim acherim al panai. Number 4 of the top 10, Zachar es Yom HaShabbos Lakadsho. Shabbos, Makar HaBracha, Shabbos. You want to show gratitude, the attitude of gratitude, the most important of traits, human and particularly Jewish. How do we show Hashem that we appreciate? We keep his holy day. Keep the Shabbos. Reconnect by disconnecting, and disconnect to reconnect. Turn off the damn phones and put them away. Turn off all the screens. Stay away from the car. Spend time with your family. Spend time with Hashem. It's not only one of the top 10, it's one of the top 5. Keep the Shabbos in every way possible. Listen to Walter from The Big Lebowski. Be Shomer Shabbos. Shabbos hi makar habracha. Shabbos is the source of all blessing. If we want to be continued to be blessed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have to keep the Shabbos. So, listen to Walter and be Shomer Shabbos. Thank you all very much for joining in to Jerry's Parsha Ponderings for Parshat Yitro. And again, a l'chaim to all. Have an absolutely wonderful Shabbos. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in. See you all next week. Shabbat Shalom from the Holy Land.